After taking a little pause and reflection, in this episode, I'll focus on silence. Why silence is ever speaking, silence is never ending speech, and source of all sounds. In this digital age of constant connection, silence has become a precious commodity. Silence allows us to focus on inner calm and helps us connect with our true self. Silence is the best and the most potent initiation. Silence is ever speaking. Silence is never ending speech. Silence is the true teaching, suited for the most advanced seeker. The state which transcends speech and thought is silence. In silence, we find truth and become connected with our true self. Ancient Greeks and Roman philosophers frequently regarded noise as a serious distraction, one that challenged their ability to concentrate. One example is philosopher Seneca described in great detail the noises coming from a bathhouse just below the room where he was writing, expressing his irritation at the distraction all around him. At the end, he has decided to withdraw to the countryside for quietness and peace. The visionary scientists like Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton worked almost exclusively alone for majority of their lives. The best creative work is often completed in solitude or after a period of solitude. When we look into the history, the best creative work by painters, artists, poets, scientists, and other creative minds happened when their outside world is shut out and purely focused on their craft. So, what is this silence I'm talking about? It is the state which transcends speech and thought is silence. The state in which the thought I, the ego, doesn't rise even in the least. Alone is self, which is silence. Reality must be always real. It is not with forms and names. It is not bound. It is beyond the expressions. The radiance of consciousness in the form of awareness within and without is the primal reality. Its form is silence. Let's see, how does speech arise from silence? First, there is abstract knowledge. Out of this arises the ego, which in turn gives rise to thought, and thought to the spoken word. So the word is the great grandson or daughter of the original source. If the word can produce an effect, judge for yourself how much more powerful must be through silence. Language is only a medium for communicating one's thoughts to another. It is called in only after thoughts arise. I thought is the root of all conversation. Most advanced seekers, in silence, they are ever speaking, and others require words to explain the truth. But the truth is beyond words. It doesn't admit of explanation. Speech is at best an honest lie, while silence is at worst a naked truth. In silence, there is clarity. In noise, there is confusion. In stillness, there is calm. In excess motion, there is excess nervous energy. We all love music, but music is the space and silence between the notes. The music is not in the notes, but in the silence between. The beauty needs a certain amount of emptiness and silence to be appreciated. The silence between the notes allows them to resonate and reach their full measure of expression. The same applies to our lives. Too much clutter can limit our creativity and make our lives chaotic. If life milestones are the music notes, then the time between the milestones are the silences. Finding moments of silence can have significant advantages, both on psychological and mental well-being. With all of the constant noise we hear on a day-to-day basis, embracing silence can help to concentrate and process all things. Silence is an important part of the creative process, and from spiritual aspect, awareness is achieved through silence. In today's hyper-connected world, being busy is a badge of honor. And we're all addicted to that being busy and complain about not having free time. Yet, we spend hours on social media or binge watching some shows. Being busy is overrated. And what it does is, instead of taking time to pause, reflect on appreciating beautiful moments, we jump into taking another task. One simple thing we can all do to achieve silence is simply being in the nature. In nature, silence is loud. The best way to experience divine is through the silence. A quote from Mother Teresa: "We need to find God, and He can't be found in noise and restlessness. God is the friend of silence. See how nature, trees, flowers, grass grows in silence. See the stars, the moon, and the sun, how they move in silence. We need silence to be able to touch souls." Personally, I spent a lot of time in nature. Also, every day, I spend time looking at the sunrise and sunset in silence. At times, I have tears of joy simply looking at the nature and being in the nature. Calming, peaceful, and pleasant experience. So, what did silence teach me? Silence taught me to be happy with less. Silence taught me that a few simple words, well spoken, have more power than hours of chatter. Silence taught me to appreciate the value of listening. Deep listening expresses deep appreciation. Silence taught me to take time each day to notice my thoughts and let go of the thoughts that don't serve me. Silence taught me to notice nature and the rich texture of sounds it offers. By taking a short walk in nature, in silence, I discover the pleasantness and peace that nature has to offer. Silence taught me to feel my body and how it can calm my troubled mind and to open my heart. Silence taught me that space helps me to face hard times, the times to face something difficult. where I can pause and reflect. Silence taught me that love can be simple. Think of someone you haven't said "I love you" to recently and tell them. Silence reminded me that speaking is easy, but staying quiet is hard. Silence taught me the importance of telling the truth. Silence has taught me a deeper truth than words ever could. At the start and end of every day, I sit in silence and I ask myself, what am I grateful for? So, sit in silence once a week and feel the truth in your heart. It's there, whether you can express it in words or not. Silence can be your best friend who never betrays. Listen to the silence beyond the words, and you shall hear the divine tune. This silence and space can be achieved with exercise, yoga, meditation, walk in woods, swimming, bike ride, or simply being in nature alone. I hope you'll find some alone activity which gives you the space and silence. In this episode, I focused why silence is ever speaking, silence is never-ending speech, and source of all sounds. In my next episode, I'll share about joy and happiness. Thank you for listening to my podcast, Conscious Living. Experience the joy within you. Please check out my book, The True Self. Unlock the chaos in you. It is a timeless journey of teachings from across history and all cultures. A personal journey through universal wisdom. The book is available on Amazon in majority of the countries across the globe. Please subscribe to my podcast, Conscious Living, at Spotify for my next episode. Take care of yourself.